When it comes to original Hollywood filmmaking, it doesn't get much bigger in the present day than Christopher Nolan. After mastering the comic book film with his Dark Knight trilogy and delivering some of the most inventive original blockbusters of the decade, here's Looking at You, Inception, Nolan finally landed his first Best Director Oscar nomination with his World War II survival thriller, Dunkirk. So what does a director like Nolan do next? The answer is Tenet, an action epic opening in summer 2020 that remains shrouded in mystery. Tenet is reportedly one of Nolan's most expensive undertakings to date, which is saying something considering his hugely ambitious Batman movies and his 2014 space drama Interstellar weren't exactly cheap. It's a testament to Nolan's critical and commercial pull that he's one of the only filmmakers in Hollywood that a major studio like Warner Brothers is willing to give a giant budget to direct an original film. The mysterious story. Like all Christopher Nolan movies, Tenet is filming with its storyline under lock and key. Warner Brothers has yet to reveal any specifics about Nolan's script, which has led to endless fan speculation about what the writer-director has in store for his new movie. The project surfaced with a rumor calling it a massive, innovative, action blockbuster which will again be shown in IMAX, hardly a shocking revelation considering those details apply to all of Nolan's recent releases. When Warner Brothers announced the official title of the movie in May, it confirmed Tenet is set in the world of international espionage. Many Nolan fans have since been referring to the film as Nolan's Bond movie. The filmmaker has long been an outspoken champion of the Bond franchise and has expressed interest in directing a 007 film. Nothing else about Tenet has been revealed. One rumor suggests the plot has to do with time-traveling spies, although that detail is unconfirmed. Whatever Tenet is about, it's going to be huge in scope and remind moviegoers of the power of theatrical presentation. Nolan suggested as much while speaking at a UK Cinema Association conference in March. We will certainly be asking exhibitors to really help us, and asking you to be our partners in terms of putting on a show for the audience and giving them a reason to come out for the evening, and engage with the world of cinema which we all love so much, Nolan said. What we never want to forget is the idea of showmanship, whatever the economic realities are, whatever costs need to be cut or corners need to be cut. The excellent cast. Nolan doesn't have a problem pulling in star power, see Leonardo DiCaprio in Inception or Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar, but he's made the exciting decision of having a rising star lead his new tentpole. Tenet features John David Washington in the lead role. Washington broke through as the star of Spike Lee's Black KK Klansman, which earned him Best Actor nominations at the Golden Globe and Screen Actors Guild Awards. Washington also has a starring role opposite Dwayne Johnson on the HBO series Ballers, heading into its 5th season starting August 25. Joining Washington in lead roles are Robert Pattinson and Elizabeth Debicki. Pattinson is rumored to be playing a villain type, although that is unconfirmed at this time. Tenet marks a rare excursion to Hollywood blockbusters for Pattinson, who will continue the trend with Warner Brothers. The Batman. Debicki, meanwhile, is coming off the best reviews of her career for Steve McQueen's Widows. The Tenet supporting cast includes Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Kenneth Branagh, Clemence Poesi, Dimple Kapadia, and Michael Caine. Branagh previously starred in Nolan's Dunkirk. Caine has been a frequent collaborator of Nolan's as a co-star in Inception, The Prestige, and The Dark Knight trilogy. Tenet will be a reunion between Nolan and Caine after the actor sat out appearing in Dunkirk, although his voice appeared in the film. Pattinson says the script is unreal. Christopher Nolan is so adamant about Tenet spoilers not getting released to the public that none of the actors are able to keep the script in their possession. Pattinson said he got locked in a room to read the script and then had to leave it behind. The actor couldn't reveal anything about what the script entails, but he did tease that Nolan has something truly epic planned for moviegoers. "I got locked in a room to read the script, I don't have it myself," Pattinson told USA Today. "I've been a little wary of doing big movies for years and years, but there's just something about Chris Nolan's stuff. He seems like the only director now who can do what is essentially a very personal, independent movie that has huge scale. I read the script and it's unreal." A break from Hans Zimmer. Christopher Nolan and Hans Zimmer have become one of the most beloved director-composer duos in Hollywood. Zimmer has composed the original score to every Nolan movie since 2005's Batman Begins, earning 3 Oscar nominations for Best Original Score with his work on Inception, Interstellar, and Dunkirk. Despite their strong history, Zimmer is sitting Tenet out and Nolan has hired Ludwig Göransson to compose the score. Swedish composer Göransson has become a rising superstar after a banner 2019 awards season that included the Best Original Score Oscar for his work on Marvel's Black Panther and Grammy Award wins for his work on Childish Gambino's record, This Is America. In addition to Childish Gambino, Göransson has produced music for major artists such as Chance the Rapper and Haim. The composer's film work also includes Fruitvale Station, Creed, Slice, and Venom. Göransson is next working on the music for the Star Wars television series The Mandalorian. While Göransson is a welcome addition to Nolan's filmography, many Nolan fans are reasonably upset Zimmer is taking a break for Tenet. There's no need to worry, as Zimmer passed on Tenet only because he could not pass up work scoring Denis Villeneuve's Dune and couldn't work on both at the same time. "Dune is one of my favorite books from my teenage years," Zimmer told the playlist in June. "I love Denis, obviously. I have to do Dune. Chris Nolan understands I have to do it. He's going to be just fine. Ludwig and I are friends. Forget the friend part, he's really good. Welcome back, Hoyt." Zimmer may be sitting Tenet out, but cinematographer Hoyt van Hoytema is returning after working with Nolan on Interstellar and Dunkirk. The latter earned Hoytema an Oscar nomination for Best Cinematography. Hoytema has become Nolan's go-to director of photography over the last several years, replacing Wally Pfister after he shaped the visual style of Nolan's early work and The Dark Knight trilogy. Prior to working with Nolan, Hoytema became a breakout star by working on Let the Right One In, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, and Her. "Making films with him is real filmmaking to me," Hoytema previously told Deadline about working with Nolan. "It's very hands-on and it's a lot of engineering, always. It's really switching your mind onto a very classic, visceral way of filmmaking. Nobody makes film like him. I think it's healthy for me as a cinematographer to try to sometimes do some different things in between projects, as well, so I don't expect people to be like him. Our relationship is unique, but there's a lot of opportunity, you know." The Crafts team. In addition to Hoytema and Göransson, Nolan has rounded out the Tenet production team with a stellar group of artists. One of the most notable crew members is Jennifer Lame, who's become an indie favorite thanks to her collaborations with Ari Aster on Hereditary and Midsommar. Lame also edited acclaimed titles such as Frances Ha and Manchester by the Sea. Lame's hiring means Nolan is also taking a break from working with Lee Smith, his longtime editor who has worked on every Nolan feature since 2005's Batman Begins. Heading up the look of the sets is production designer Nathan Crowley, a 5-time Oscar nominee who has worked with Nolan since his Insomnia days. 4 of Crowley's Academy Award nominations are from Nolan movies, including The Prestige, The Dark Knight, Interstellar, and Dunkirk. Other frequent Nolan collaborators working on Tenet include costume designer Jeffrey Kurland, Inception, Dunkirk, and visual effects supervisor Andrew Jackson, whose first Nolan movie was Dunkirk. Nolan fans should be even more excited about Jackson's involvement considering he was the leading VFX director on Mad Max: Fury Road, for which he was Oscar nominated. Where it's filming. Warner Bros. Has confirmed Nolan is filming Tenet in 7 countries. Production started in July with weeks of filming in Estonia. Estonian Public Broadcasting reported that $18.5 million was being spent on the Estonia set portions of the movie. The production shut down the country's Pärnu highway to film an action scene. Other countries where Tenet is being filmed include the United Kingdom, Italy, and India. The India set portions of the movie are being planned to shoot in September. Nolan has never filmed one project in 7 countries before, which gives some weight to the original rumor that Tenet is a massive blockbuster. An ambitious scope is always expected from a new Christopher Nolan movie, but filming in 7 countries suggests the narrative is the biggest thing Nolan has written to date. The sprawling locations at least means Tenet will be more expansive setting-wise than Dunkirk, which was one of Nolan's most contained films. Shooting on film, of course. No surprise here, if it's a Nolan movie, it's obviously being shot on film. Warner Bros. Press announcement for the movie reads, Nolan is directing from his own original screenplay, utilizing a mixture of IMAX and 70mm film to bring the story to the screen. Nolan and Hoytamer shot Dunkirk, using both IMAX film cameras and 65mm large format film stock in Panavision System 65. One of the big questions moving forward is just how much of the movie Nolan is planning to film with IMAX cameras. The director has long championed the IMAX presentation format. Nolan shot 4 sequences of The Dark Knight using IMAX cameras, making it the first narrative feature to film portions specifically for IMAX. Nearly 75% of Dunkirk was filmed with IMAX film cameras, but one reason Nolan was able to achieve that was because his Dunkirk script had minimal dialogue. IMAX cameras are notoriously loud, which is why it's hard to use them to film conversation scenes. For this reason, the amount of dialogue in Tenet will most likely determine just how much Nolan uses IMAX cameras. A whopping reported budget. News broke in June that the estimated budget for Tenet was in the $225 million ballpark, a massive number that stands as one of the biggest price points of Nolan's career so far. Warner Bros. Has yet to confirm the production budget, but any sum above the $200 million mark would be huge even by Nolan's standards. Only The Dark Knight Rises exceeded the $200 million production budget mark, with Nolan's other projects like The Dark Knight, Inception, and Interstellar falling in the $150 to $180 million range. Dunkirk was made in the mid to low $100 million range. Most studios would be hesitant to give such a huge budget to an original title, but Nolan has rightfully earned the goodwill of Warner Bros. Over the last decade by making one critical and commercial hit after the next. The teaser trailer. Warner Bros. Surprised audiences by debuting the Tenet teaser trailer in front of select screenings of Hobbs and Shaw this month. The nearly 1-minute clip shows John David Washington's character inspecting 2 identical bullet holes on a shattered glass window. Text appears on screen saying, "Time has come for a new protagonist. Time has come for a new kind of mission." The teaser ends with a brief shot of a police force running through the streets and then a longer still of Washington's character wearing an oxygen mask. The title of the film then appears on screen as 10. In typical Nolan fashion, the Tenet teaser amped up fan speculation over the film's plot. Many fans have expected Tenet to play with time given Nolan's love of time-bending narratives, and the film's title is a palindrome, but the way the title is stylized in the trailer confirms Nolan has something trippy up his sleeve. Both text blocks that appear in the teaser stress the notion of time, as well. Some fans have interpreted the Tenet teaser as the film being a sequel to Inception, but again nothing is confirmed by Nolan's team or Warner Brothers. Release strategy. Warner Brothers will release Tenet in theaters nationwide July 17, 2020. The rollout will include screenings presented in 70mm, 35mm, and IMAX film. The mid-July summer release has become a staple for Nolan and Warner Brothers. The Dark Knight, Inception, The Dark Knight Rises, and Dunkirk were all released on the same July weekend to massive box office hauls. Warner Brothers mixed things up with Interstellar, which opened at the start of November, but the fall box office is often overcrowded and the movie was not as big of a domestic performer as the studio had hoped, although $188 million in the US is no small feat. All of Nolan's July releases have dominated the box office and earned enough critical praise to hold on well into the fall awards season. Dunkirk made $526 million worldwide in summer 2017 and went on to land 8 Academy Award nominations the following year, including Best Picture and Nolan's first bid for Best Director. Thanks for watching this video. Please like the video and subscribe our channel.